All right, let's see what we got here. Testing, 1, 2. Okay, so, oh, not on the right screen. Right, where is my Yahoo? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so today is the 23rd. Let's see what's happening today. We have a speech by Governor Waller. It just says opening remarks at the Fed Listens event hosted by Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. It's going to be virtual. Okay, so it's not anybody that's doing anything that is looking like it's going to be directly economic policy or anything like that. So doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy of a day. All right, so let's look at the scans for this morning. What I'm seeing is a bunch of the cheaper ones moving: BTOG, SNOA, AGR, INDRA. I did end up taking a trade yesterday on holy goodness, what did I trade yesterday? Hold up. TIVC is what I traded. Okay, so let me look that up. Where are you now? So TIVC ended up having this move, and it actually broke down ATR lows. It was one of the few that it met all the criteria except it wasn't above ATR highs. So it came all the way down here. I let it bottom out, basically. And this thing bottomed out, and I started seeing it kind of trade in between this little range here. So I traded the range as it bottomed out. Came down here, hit a bottom of about 653, came back up to try to get to 8, couldn't do that. Worked its way back to the bottom of the range and started holding. So I actually entered on this candle right here. This candle right here. I don't know why I did that. Let's see if I can select it. Nope, it's just gonna do another one. Activate. This little candle right here is the one I did. All right, let's zoom in some because that is hard to see. So yeah, I entered 697, came down, and I was just looking for it to play in this range. If it did dump, this red line here was the out, and it never did do that. So came down, held, started holding the 7s, got up here towards the 8s for one time, and I was looking for it to actually break. It did not break, and so it just continued to come down and did not break this low either. So it didn't break either side of this range, and so I continued to hold. Then in the afternoon, I came back, and it came back up here, and I was selling right back at this level that it had previously tested, and ended up just continuing to do that same move. Not in an uptrend, it was in a downtrend for sure. But when I saw the range, I didn't just buy the bottom here. I wanted to see it try to pop back up because I knew as long as it's under this ATR low, it's in a downtrend. It has a high chance of going down. But it held there, and so that's what I ended up trading. So basically the entry was 697, and the exit was over here at around 780s. 780s, and 780 to 775 was where I got the most out. But yeah, my goal was to get 30 cents, and so that was, what was that, 776, 7, let's just call it 775 minus 697. So I got 78 cents. So I got my goal of the 30 cents plus 40, which was cool. Anyway, on this morning, we got BTOG is leading with volume. Doesn't mean that it's the best one. It's only 19 cents, super cheap. And like I was telling you guys yesterday, with those super cheap ones, it is super easy to oversize. That's why I don't like them. You got to do some mathematics to kind of try to keep yourself secure. But your math, I forget which one it was that we saw yesterday. It was a cheaper one like this. Maybe it was Osea. Osea is what it was. So I think Ghostwind had called this one out, and it had made this move up here from 4 cents all the way to 8 cents. Now imagine you oversize on this, and this happens. You get caught in something like this. This is why I don't like these types of stocks or this price range. It can give back and never recover. You take let's just say you plan with 1,000 shares, I guess, or well, at this price level, a lot of people can oversize. Like I'm saying, they may take 10,000 shares. So 10,000 shares. Okay, you got 10,000 shares. Let's say you're just playing around up here. Maybe you saw this little pullback to, what is this? 6 cents. You're like, okay, it's getting some buying, so I'm gonna go ahead and get in here at 6 cents with 10,000 shares. Well, this thing drops from your little 6 cents all the way down here to 4. So what is a 2 cent loss on 10,000 shares? Let's go times 2 cents. That's 200 bucks. And you're like, well, maybe it'll go back up. Maybe I'll hold this. And it just continues to go lower, 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 lower. So what's 3 cents on 10,000 shares? Whoops, did the same number. 10,000 times 0.03. So it's going to continue to hurt you. But with it being this cheap, a lot of people oversize even more than 10,000 shares. So let's say you're doing 100,000 shares and you lose 3 cents like that. Well, you just add an extra zero, right? Now you're down 3 grand. So it's too easy to oversize in those. That's why I don't really like them. Good morning, Danielle. But let's look at what we got today. As far as the ones that aren't so cheap, like SNOA, and the only reason that I have these types pop up on the scan like BTOG is so if they are getting heavily traded and they're taking all of the attention and they have catalysts, some of those days are kind of bad for the rest of small caps because people focus on these little micro price stocks. I'm like, okay, if the focus is there, I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, but the next one is SONA, and then we'll look at AGRI, and then Indra. Or Indra doesn't even have too much volume. Okay, let's start with BTOG or SNOA. SNOA. Sonoma Pharmaceuticals. Now we've seen this one before. Is a low float, and really for small caps I really just focus on low floats. You may see me look at some of the higher floats when I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I want the potential to get the money relatively quickly, and the higher floats usually end up chopping out, so that's why I kind of stay away from them, because from the statistics, those higher floats just, and either high floats or things that institutions hold too much of. Like when I see a bunch of Black Rocks and all of that in there, I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be too volatile because they don't want it to be. But yeah, let's go and look at this news here on Sonoma Pharmaceuticals. 15 hours ago, Sonoma Pharmaceuticals announces registration of acne products in the United Kingdom and launch of products in leading UK pharmacy chain. Okay. So if you got acne, it is $4.78 right now. It's up 106%. And just for giggles, let's go look at that cheap one, BTOG, to see if it had any kind of catalyst. This is called Bit Origin Limited, BTOG. Okay, last news on February 25th. Okay, good. Doesn't even have news. So SNOA has more recent news than that. Let's go look at AGRI. And then we'll jump over to Yahoo and look at that. So this is AgriForce. Again, we've seen this one before. 23 hours ago, AgriForce Growing Systems provides update on Bitcoin mining operation. Now, I don't know if y'all seen, but Bitcoin has definitely popped up. So right here, Bitcoin yesterday or wherever it was at 88. A couple days before, it was at 82. A couple days before, it was at 74. So it has made a 20,000. Let me see, is that right? Almost $25,000 jump up. And so ideas that are following this may get a little bit of heat, but I don't know. We have to see. AGR is one of those that, you know, it's a Bitcoin mining farm. So as Bitcoin is raising or is coming up in price, it's getting some sentimental push from that. So that's why. And all of my account is nice and green on over here on the things that I trade. Now, when it comes to crypto, I don't like meme coins at all. The only coins that I like are coins that have tokens that have projects that are doing things in the real world, right? I like things that are focused on cybersecurity. I like things that are focused on transaction efficiency or maybe energy efficiency. I like things that are in the automotive sector when it comes to, you know, getting crypto for driving or getting crypto for doing things while you're driving, right? I like crypto dealing with real estate. I don't like meme stocks. I want to see something that is has a real world use. You know, you won't see a meme stock in my portfolio. I look at the projects just like I do with my dividends. I want to see what this company is doing. Speaking of dividends, XRX, I don't know if it's Xerox. I don't know if it's going to give me a chance to add my full position to this. So I was looking at XRX and I was accumulating a position here. It's up to 421. Now my average price is 430. I got 120 something shares, right? And this thing, I wanted to get more down here, but I was adding slow. So, you know, every dollar it goes up now, I get 120 bucks, right? Plus, I get that dividend. So my average is still below my average, but my average is right up here at 430s. And with the SPY, or not the SPY, the NQ, it's gapped up. All right, so this was the trend line that we had been seeing. Oh man, come on, work with me, work with me. Okay, there we go. So this is the trend line that I was looking at to see it hold. This was one tap, this was two tap, and now it's getting that third tap, right? So it's got this third tap in the bag. Bam, right there. 1, 2, 3 confirmation, and then a gap up behind that confirmation. So I don't know if I'm gonna get to add any more to my my positions down there. Whatever. I took the opportunity while it was there. If XRX gets back over 5, cool. Every dollar it goes up, 120 bucks, and I'll just be cool with that. I wanted to get 500 shares, but I didn't want to enter so quickly. If it does come back down, I'll continue to just you know, scoop it up. The reason why I was looking at Xerox is because I still see their equipment and I still see their software when I go into, you know, government buildings and buildings that are federally funded and stuff like that. I see their stuff all the time. So I'm like, that's what I want. Just like with AT&T when it came down, I just saw AT&T everywhere. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is it this cheap and I see it everywhere? You know, that's how I'm thinking. Why is it at $3 and I still see it everywhere? They're not going bankrupt. They're actually doing, and plus XRX is doing a restructuring later on in the year. So I want to see what happens with that restructuring as well. They're trying to increase their market share because they're still making plenty of money. Anyway, XOXL did gap back up. It came down here to 8. I didn't grab any of that. While it was down here, I was just like, I let it fall if it's gonna fall. I wanted to get to a stupidly low price, especially when it's coming to the long-term portfolio. I like to get the best of the best prices. and then just let it roll. SONA, let's go look at its chart. SONA came popped during aftermarket from $2 up here to 374, rolled up here to 425, got a pop up here to 495, got another pop to 530s. Had a little pullback, 477. Let's see. So the ATR high is way down here. Apparently we looked at this before because I see lines up here as far as a body block, but I know this was before I started dating things because there are no dates. I don't know where this came from. Let's see when, can I see when this was created? Yep. Okay, so it was created on 3/11. So the date was 03/11/2025. Whoops. 2025, where that occurred. If I do this, will that update it to today's date? Let's see. Nope. Okay, it's still there. Created on that. All right, and then the price level, I don't know if this was a significant price level, but it definitely came back above this body block here. Okay, so let's also look at AGR. Popped up during, let's see, is this aftermarket? 5 o'clock. Popped up to from 140 up here to 220. It kind of has been trading erratically through here. 22 million shares traded though. ATR from yesterday was 15 cents. SNOA ATR was 32 cents. It's probably going to be quite a bit higher than that. So let's look at how many times has it done 32 cents since the pop from yesterday. Pop from yesterday, 233, all the way up here to 526. So 526 minus 230s. It's about $2.96 divided by 32. So about 9 times what its ATR was yesterday. It has moved. So we'll see if it goes through shrinkage, if it shrinks back to that 32 cents, starts to tighten up, and then it gets sporadic again. Let's look at AGR. AGR is it going down? It looks like it's going down more. But it is a much cheaper one. I think most eyes are going to be on SNOA for today. But AGRI, with Bitcoin moving up, will it be able to challenge SNOA is the question. But those are the two that I'm seeing right now. Not seeing anything over 5 that's moving with a little bit of catalyst. Not seeing anything there. Leading the day again is NVIDIA. All of these large cap stocks that we look at that have been red now that the market has gapped up are now green. NVIDIA, Tesla, Palantir, Amazon, BRT is up quite a bit. What's going on with BRT? Up 16%. Big moves out of there. I'll go look at that one. Let's go see what's going on there. BRT. Vertiv Holdings. 1 hour ago. Okay, so they put there, it says Vertiv reports strong first quarter 2025 results. Let's actually jump over here and look at some of these profiles. So let's start with SNOA. We'll go through some of these. Okay, Sonoma Pharmaceuticals. Start with who you are. So this one's out of Boulder, Colorado. Sonoma Pharmaceuticals Inc. develops and produces stabilized hypochlorous acid products for wound care, animal health care, eye and nasal care, oral care, and dermatological conditions in the United States, Europe, Asia, Latin America, and internationally. The company offers Lumacin, a skin toner, Okay, this getting into some crazy names. Okay, I'm just gonna read what they are. So a skin toner, a prescription scar gel, um, red bumps, rashes, swallow skin fissure or shallow skin fissures, sunburn, peeling, eczema. So a lot of things dealing with skin and well, skin, eye, and yeah, dermatological things. Let's see. But anyway, that's it was incorporated in 2016. It's doing its thing out there. We'll see about that if it can actually stay up, but it's got a pretty good amount of volume with almost 30 million shares traded. Let's look at AG. Well, before I go to AGR, let's look at the statistics on this one and see who's holding. So we got a float of 1.59 million. Insiders and institutions are both low, but let's go look at who's holding here. Is it anybody big holding this one? So we got UBS Group. Wow, not a lot of holders at all. Usually we're seeing, used to seeing somebody with 1 million shares, but the top holder only has 17,000 shares, which is very low. BlackRock is in there. Look at what BlackRock reported 113 shares on December 31st. So I highly doubt that they increased this to 1 million over the time that this pop is occurring. So not a whole lot. Maybe they'll sell some of their shares, some of this 113, and JP Morgan in there with a small share size. So not a lot of confidence from institutional holders that I'm seeing. And not a lot of confidence from the insiders either. They got a small little 1% holding there. Let's look at the statistics again. So that confidence, that makes me nervous when I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait a minute. Neither one of these guys, insiders or institutions, are confident enough to really be owning millions of shares. I think that's a sign. Let's look at AGRI. And we'll go and look at other I got a couple more websites here to look through for these as well, but I'm just starting on Yahoo. All right, the float on this one is 1.73, and again, institutions, insiders, very low on this one. Let's go look at the holders. So AgriForce, this is the Bitcoin mining one. So people that are holding the most are holding around 20,000 shares. I'm not seeing any of the big names in here. No Vanguard, no BlackRock, none of that. Okay. So again, you got to watch out for who has confidence in this thing, And if they have confidence, do they have too much? Like an institution, are they too embedded in this thing? Is it going to be a chop factory? Okay, and let me go to VRT. That was another one that I was looking at. It's up 17% now. Now this one, look at this. So VRT is a higher price one, but it's up 17%. Look who's in here. Top holders. Vanguard, 36 million. BlackRock, 34 million. Now that says confidence, right? JP Morgan, 13 million. FMR, I really don't know who that is. Bank of America. Who has confidence in here? And if we go to the statistics, let's see if institutions hold the power here. So yeah, it has a bigger float. Yeah, look at the institutions. 84% holding shares. They got some confidence in that thing. And that's why, after it's made a move like that, it's kind of too late. You got to buy those dips like those big companies are buying those dips. Or not big companies, those institutional traders are buying those dips. Okay, so anything else that's up like that? Not really. But let's go back over to, well, let's look over here. So we already checked SNOA. Let's see if its float is the same over here as well, around 1 million. Float 1.59 million. Percent float shorted 3%, but I mean, not that many people own it, so it really doesn't matter about it, that 3%. Nobody's in a position to just get smashed off of that, really. Let's look at AGR, AGRI. Okay, so public float is 1.73 million, and again, this short float is 3%, but not a lot of holders there to be blasted. Okay. Let's see. Agriforest, growing systems. Let's go over here to FinViz. Let's send away. I think everybody's saying 1 million on both of these, and low holdings for insiders and institutions on all of these. So they are in agreement. Wait, wrong thing. Statistics. Yep. Around 1.62 million. All right, well, looks like I'm not seeing anything crazy outrageous. Yep, float 1.59. All right, so let's look at shelf registrations. SOA. No shelf registrations on that one. And then AGR. No shelf registration. Okay. Anyway, looking at it, definitely doesn't spur excitement for sure with that confidence level in those two. Maybe they'll do something crazy, maybe they won't, but I would say be careful with those, especially holding those if they do take a blast up. I mean, with people with that small of a share size, they can just add to their position short. You know what I mean? Like it gets going up, it blasts up, and then they just add to their position short and be like, oh, well, I'll take another 10,000 shares, or I'll take another whatever and drop the ball on y'all, right? But if they have a lot in their position, like BlackRock, let's say BlackRock, it was short on VRT down, let's say down here at 65 short, and they got 34 million shares short. And this thing does this move from 65 up to 70. That's a $10 move right there. And then all the way up to 84. They're getting killed if they're short on this position. Killed. Like that's a $20 move on what, 34 million shares? Can we even calculate those numbers? Can we even what's that loss? So they got 34 million shares. 34 million times, $20. I mean, who wants to take this loss? $680 million loss if you're short on that with their size. Does not even make sense. Let's see. Anyway, go back over here to the NQ. I'm liking the bearish look on the NQ. I'm liking that it came back and reclaimed this little. At first, I thought I was just absolutely wrong on this trend. I was like, okay, it's did one, did two, but I had to wait, and I had to wait 2 days for it to come back to this and verify that this trend was something real. From the first one back here on the 10th all the way to the 23rd, it took it that much time to verify what it was actually trying to do, which is crazy. But sometimes you have to have patience. Sometimes it just doesn't happen on the day, and so you have to stop out. Like back here on this day, I know it came down here to this trend. I was like, oh, is this thing gonna turn around? Nope. Dropped from 18,200 all the way down here to 17. So if I was trading something that followed the market, I got stopped out. And if I was short, well, I was short for a short term, right? I was short for like just the end of this session, and then it starts to recover. So with day trading, you gotta have that stop there, because these moves can go longer than you expect, and then they can recover bigger than you expect. Well, I could not talk right there. But yeah, that's what we were looking at this morning. Um, as far as some of the things I do, I know I never go into crypto or whatnot. Let's go over here to a couple of things that not Coinbase. What am I trying to go to? Coin Gecko. So a lot of my research when I'm reading up on these is over here at CoinGecko, reading, what's going on. One of the stocks that I got into was called Atom, and Cosmos Atom. It does what's called staking. And I never go into these, but staking is basically like dividends. You get payouts, you get airdrops, you get all kinds of things randomly dropped into your account. So your account can just bounce very, very big. And a lot of these cryptos, when they're paying dividends, their dividends aren't like with my XRX, it's paying a 12%, or I think it's a 12% dividend or something like that. Or with some of the other dividends that I have, they're like 10%, 8%, 7%. But with crypto, it's a little bit more. You're getting maybe 80%, 100%, something like that, as far as the dividends coming out. But I like things that have staking, but I like a good project as well. Now I actually got paid in Atom for doing some work for some of their uh, projects that are on their chain, right? Of course, I do. I'm into cybersecurity and network engineering and all of that good stuff. So, just being like a consultant, being someone that can go in and kind of pen test their systems or whatever they've got set up and spun up, they pay in crypto. So I was like, yeah, don't pay me in cash, pay me in your crypto. Give me your crypto. And that's what I do with a lot of these projects that have some based ideas. I do work and get paid in that. So yeah, I'm looking pretty good on Cosmos Atom, and I added I added to this position that I had already had in my Coinbase. I got multiple wallets for this, so I'm staking in multiple places on Atom. As far as other things, this thing just is looking great. Um, I got a couple here that are some of them. I like to wait till these things have 5 years of history. Adam has 5 years of history, and it's one of those that has plenty of people building on chain, plenty of actual people doing work and connecting their projects to Adam. So that's why I like it. As far as now, I mean, it's only $4, right? But I mean, what else was $4 at one point? Bitcoin was $4 at one point. Ethereum was $4 at one point. All of these stocks started somewhere. So I kind of like to see a little bit of history behind them, or a really good project idea, right? So GRT file is a um, they are a very fast file transfer database, and I wanted to see how that was going to do into the future. I got a little bit of that, but not really rushing into that, just buying slow, whatever it wants to do. ADA, basic attention coin. This was the coin that was paid by Brave Browser, or is still paid by Brave Browser for doing things like watching YouTube videos, or doing that kind of stuff. Just using the search engines and all that stuff. That I never really. I think I got paid in this one time, and that's the only reason I got that coin. But I just watched the charts. Matic got paid. Gold, Sea Gold. Dymo is a car automotive type cryptocurrency. They have like a road monitoring system that pays you crypto for safe driving and things like that. Alio is a cybersecurity type one. It just opened up. Don't have a whole lot of that. I got just a little bit of that, so not. I'm letting that history build before I try to do anything with that. But Pro is that property real estate one. Just seeing how real estate is going to adjust in our current economy, and who all they get to back them. And like I said, these are low right now, and all of these started low. So I'm just scooping up little bits and pieces because I mean I only need one to do something crazy, and I'm like, oh, great, you know. One that I was so salty about was this one, Soul. So this one I actually did work with them. I got paid when it was at like 17 bucks down here, and it ripped, right? It ripped up here to like 150, and it did this move right here. So, do I have a circle out here? No, I do not have a circle. Whatever. So it did this fall out here, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me just take profit. So I actually sold, let me see, was it like one? It might have been like on a low or something like that. I just was like, man, this thing might crash. And so I sold out, and then it just, popped all the way to 300 bucks, right? And it was one of those times where I was like, I don't know. I really didn't need to sell, but at the point I had the money in pocket from like what 20 under 20 bucks all the way up here to 100 something. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sell. But as you can see, it popped back up there, and I don't know if it'll ever come back down here, so it's whatever. I do still have some Soul. I've received payments in Soul again, but not as much as I had got paid off the rip. AGRI just going on down, man. But yeah, that's how I feel about crypto. I need a real idea. Meme stocks and meme crypto I stay away from. UPX side popping up here 20%. What are you doing over here? It doesn't look great, but it's up 20% with a million shares traded. But it's got quite a bit of work to do to catch up with some of these other ones. SNOA. We'll see if these actually end up holding up. I see another one, ENSC here, up 4 million shares. Let's go look at that one. So ENSC. What are you? Insys Bioscience. 10 minutes ago, it received a U.S. patent for groundbreaking treatment of opioid use disorder. Let's click into that. A clinical stage pharmaceutical company developing innovative solutions for severe pain relief while reducing the potential for abuse and overdose. Today announced it received a notice of allowance from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for the issuance of a patent entitled Enzyme Cleavable Methadone Prodrugs and Methods of Use Thereof, including both composition of matter and method of use claims. PF 9001, the innovative medication covered by this patent is designed to provide a safer treatment option for opioid use disorder by using incise, TAAP, TM, and MPAR abuse deterrent and overdose protection technologies. Okay, so let's go and look at some of its attributes here. Over here, Yahoo Finance, ENSC. It's up 100% right now. Profile does have day one news. Where you go? Profile. Oh, I went to profile. My bad. So it's out of California. It was founded in 2003. Let's go to statistics here. Looking like a float of under a million. Has some institutions in there, about 8%. So let's see who's holding here. Out of California. So the top holder is Perspective Advisors LLC with 86,000. And BlackRock has 64 shares. Morgan Stanley has 52 shares. So this one, we'll see what it can do. It's got day one news though, so could get a little agitated today. ENSC. Oh wow, it's already up 127%. I just looked away and it's moved 20%. Wow. Let's see. Is this the home base for this? Investing. Okay. Public floats. This one doesn't even have a public float for it. ENSC. All right. So yeah, saying the same thing all over. Let me go over here to shelf registrations. It's heading up quite quickly. Has two shelf registrations from four. Oh, they just put their shelf registrations in. Wait a minute. This is from the 16th. So last Wednesday they put in shelf registrations here. So still very close, and they already made quite a bit of money. So ENC popping from 199 up here to 446. So I mean, if they want to enact that shelf, that's a lot of money in their pocket. So we'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. It's coming up almost 10 million shares traded right now. It's up 140%. So that is wild in the small caps. Interesting. Let's go look at their larger time frames as well. So let's pop over here to this. So ENSC, we can look back at the chart. Well, let me maximize this. Maximize. Okay, so we can look back at the charts and see that this popped before in the past. I don't know if this was these just look like regular prices. It might have actually got up here to 14 bucks. It just looks like regular prices. Nothing super crazy. But back here, $2,000. We know it's been through some reverse splits, looks like. But closing yesterday at 187. It's got news 10 minutes ago, and now it is all the way up here to 440. So almost $5. Interesting. Good morning, Ghost Wind. So we just seen ENSC pop on. It is leading in percent gain right now in the small caps. Has the ability to cover distance. And that's one of the things I always look at. Okay, what is the distance you can cover? And can I figure out what kind of range that you're trying to play within? You know, or do you have news that's good enough to just keep you moving up? ENSC just crossed 10 million shares traded. More and more attention flowing down there and away from BTOG and SNOA and AGRI, all kind of losing themselves, and ENSC coming up very quickly on their heels. UPXI gave a throw up here to 12 and then came right back under ATR high. Back through the large and mid caps, we still have Nvidia leading. Of course, all of those large caps are pretty much gapped up because the market gapped up. Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, VRT, Amazon, SMCI, Hood, up 8%. I should have been saying the percentages. So Nvidia up 5%, Tesla up 6%, Palantir up 5%, VTR up 17%, Amazon up 4%, SMCI up 7%, Hood up 8%, OKLO up 1%. I think Mike D had mentioned OKLO in the past. Baba up 3%, Apple up 3%. So those are the top 10 mid and large caps that are doing their thing on this morning. All of them have at least 700,000 shares traded, all the way up to Nvidia with the highest, which is 8 million shares traded. So from 700,000 up to 8 million is their volume right now. Okay. All right, ENSC came up here to a high of 450. And we'll see how that works out for it. Get rid of some of these. They don't even make sense anymore. Okay. But yeah, I'm thinking ENSC is where if attention continues to flow there, it might be the number one on the day. It's got day one news. The only thing that I would be concerned about is that shelf registration from last week. Like, think about it. 1 week you put in a shelf registration, you get this thing up, you know, 5, 6, whatever dollars, and you can just sell and pocket the money in 1 week. Like, I'll be careful. I'll be careful because they can definitely pull the plug on this one. And I don't know if that catalyst was good. Let me see. Was that catalyst? It was the opioid use disorder, treatment of opioid use disorder. So we'll have to see how that goes. That's kind of on the shady type side there. Because if I was a company and I put this news out last week, and I came back one morning and my company went from $1, basically $1.50 up here to $4, man, I don't know, man. I would be thinking about selling. I'm not even gonna lie, especially if I know that my company's struggling. It's a small cap and all that good stuff. I'm like, I highly doubt they will be buying more up here. And that one group, PL whatever, PureView LLC or whatever that holder was, is the one that's holding the most of it. Perceptive Advisors, they got 86,000 shares. So they, or these top folks up here, are up, you know, $3 per share, right? And so if you got 86,000 shares at $1.50, so 86,000 at $1.50, and now you're up what? Let's just say $3 to $4.50. So we'll say times. Actually, we'll have to split the difference. So we'll say 450 minus that $1.50 is going to give us what what the difference is. So minus that $1.50 is the difference. Wait, why is this still? Oh, hold up, start over. 450 minus that $1.50 is the difference, right? So that's 3. We're gonna multiply what they had, which is, let's see, 86,000 at $1.50. Okay, so that's $129,000. Let me open up another calculator. Okay, so $129,000, and now they got this 86,000 at $4.50. So now this is, and then the difference, open up another calculator. So the difference in this is how much money have they made? So 387 going back to their original, was this 129 minus 129,000. So they made about $250,000 in a week. So I'm wondering, are they going to be more on the sell side or more on the buy side? They have 250 in pocket. They originally invested 129. 258 divided by 2. What is half of that? So let me see. Another calculator. 258 divided by 2. So they pretty much doubled their investment. Wherever their investment was, they doubled it. So are they going to be willing to sell? more willing to sell than buy. Those top holders down here, right? Perceptive Advisors, Adage Capital, and all these folks. BlackRock with their 64 shares, they just made a little bit of money on this one. They didn't make a whole lot. But yeah, interesting to look at. I kind of like to delve into it to see, why would they be on the sales side, right? They already got a shelf registration. They already made 250K. Are those good reasons to be a seller? You made 250. Do you want to dump it? And like Ghostwind said, sellers are looking like they're in control. Now, it may not be over. It may come to the open where it does a little pop or something. At the open, people like to trade and dump money in and buy and sell. But what is the overall trend going to end up looking like? AGRI going back under $2 at 199, and it's losing a lot of gasoline as ENSC attracts more trading activity. SCNOA, okay. Definitely a lot of things to consider here. What is TIVC doing? TIVC is the one that I traded from yesterday. Still down here, 714. Did not reclaim any of that. Bounced off of this 665, but does not have any type of real volume here. Well, it's got 122,000, so yeah, can't touch that as a small cap. I'm cool. So if it gets back, and there it is, going back over that 450, that 450 mark was at 250,000 shares that I calculated. Let's see if it can go higher. Will they make 300K? Will they make 400K, 500K? How high will it go? Will it break 5? So we got 450. Now it's at 460. So let me. Interesting. Yeah, Ghostwind, TIVC was great yesterday. I was like, man, this thing's playing within this range. I'm gonna play this range, bro. Looking like it wants to get up to 5. Point of control right now is at 397. Majority of shares have been traded there. 154 million or 155% up with 16 million shares traded. Looks like it's still a little bullish during pre-market. But yeah, this is pretty much my focus during the day trading is these small caps, these low floats that have the potential to give you 30 cents, 30, 40, 50, 60 cents. I got 78 cents off of TIVC yesterday on one trade. Ooh. So it came up here and hit a top of 518. Okay. Can it go higher? The good thing is you can calculate what these folks have made from the holders, the top holders, who has made the most money off of it, and then are they in a better position to sell or to hold based on the catalyst? Because if they start selling and they're holding the majority of the shares, and sellers, day trading sellers add on to that weight, It has way more potential to come down than go up. You can see it got a quick pop up there to 519. The ATR from yesterday was, I think it was like 32 cents or something like that. I forget. What was the ATR? NSC. ATR was 34 cents from yesterday. Yesterday. So let's recalculate. This thing got up to a high of 518. Let's see how much our biggest holders made on this. So it went from 150 up to 518 now. So 86,000. Oops. Times 518 was the high. Okay, so now we just split the difference. So they made about $300,000 in a week. Are they satisfied? Are they ready to become sellers, or do they think it can push even higher than 518? They already got 300,000 at this tip top, right? Can it push more? Okay, a little bit of a lower high there and then a pop down to 481. Point of control just popped up to 460 there. Ooh, NQ is just steadily going up. Wow. Okay, let me go look at my XRX. Is it still going up as well? 420. Okay, it's still about at the same place. Cool. Let me look at my AT&T then. Is it back over 27 with this gap up in the market? Yep, 27.60. Wow. Closed yesterday at 20, or it was 26.96. Then with this gap up in the market, I almost went to 28. Man, AT&T gets over 30 bucks. Let's go. Still holding. That's what I'm really waiting on. That break over this break over 30 really on AT&T. Let me check back over here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin still doing its thing. It has the previous tip top of this candle was 95, and it's looking quite bullish on Bitcoin. Anyway, I just realized it is 7:30. We pretty much looked around the market. We see the interesting things in the small caps. We see that the market has gapped up. Some of these you're just going to have to be careful on, especially like ENSC. And be careful on, because they do have their shelf registration from last week. We already showed you the calculation of how much money has been made by those top holders at the tip top, and are they going to become more sellers than buyers, and are sellers going to add to the pressure of them selling? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream. I got to get on down, get to work, and let me go one more time to this market over here, NQ. It is above the ATR high, so I'm thinking, man, this thing is bullish. It's way above the ATRs that it had from yesterday. This was the first move, HER high. This was came up here, played around in consolidation, and then broke back out. So yeah, definitely looking bullish on the market. It is coming up, let me see, to a previous level that had been tested. This 19,000 has been tested 7 times, and it is coming back to it. This one has been tested more than 2 times now. This one's been tested through, let's see, came up here once, came down. But that's at least 3 per where it started. Let me change that real quick. But yeah, that's it for me today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. 3x. Verified this little uptrend. Took some time, but happened eventually. But as always, be careful if you're going to continue trading. Take in mind who's holding, who's in the best position, who's the most uncomfortable, and all of that good stuff as far as the biggest holders. And I will see you guys tomorrow, pre-market. Let's see, stream. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.